Afternoon, folks. I've finally come to the end of the Carabiniers. I've been keeping in touch with quite a few wargamers in the last few days on Facebook and things, and Discord and stuff, and they well know the agonising pain of painting up the details on these. Like, they were done a good few days ago, but to get them finished has taken quite a long time, actually. The first stages were quite easy because the black horses, I just kept them all black. In hindsight, either the trumpeter or bugler or the standard bearer is meant to have a grey horse. I picked up on that on reading the Otto manuscript, I think it was. It was either that or I was reading something else online, that was properly sourced, but I think it's meant to have a grey horse rather than one of the black horses of the troopers and the officer. So, one mistake there, but not the end of the world. I'm quite happy with them, actually. No, I'm very happy with them. The Carabinier uniforms are really, really nice. I actually saw, who painted them up? Someone's collection on YouTube. Maybe either Liberator or... I'm trying to think now. I always get two channels mixed up, two Napoleonics channels. He does... I'm not sure if it's Liberator who does American Civil War and Napoleonics at 28mm. It has two big collections. I can't remember his username. Oh well. He did Carabiniers, and he was saying that they're one of his favourite squadrons or regiments, and I've got to agree, they're really nice. I think it might be a sword belt, or it might be a belt for the ammunition cartridge, but that's actually in buff, and then the uniforms are white. I did Vallejo silver grey, then a sepia shade wash from Vallejo, or you could just as well use Agraxa shade or Army Painter soft tone. I wouldn't bother nuking it with what's the stronger one? It's just called strong tone. Don't bother with that, it's a bit too overkill. Then yeah, highlights on everything on these, like the metalwork have had highlights, had added gold into the brass, but then sepia shade on everything. So when I was shading down the white, I just nuked everything with a shade, but I didn't shade the black horses. They had a black wash. And what else? Black leather on the horses. I could have done brown leather, but I was being a tad lazy. Just get those zoomed in for you. The black leather is done by adding flesh colour into black, and that's meant to be a softer highlight than adding grey, apparently. I have painted the little grenades on the... I don't think these are the saber taches. I think they're actually just saddlecloths, I suppose. But you might see a minute little grenade there. Still needs some work, but I find it like agonizingly difficult to do. I'm going to try and show one off that isn't shockingly awful. Okay, this is quite a nice one. Not something you want to put up under close scrutiny, but they actually look very passable on the Wargames table. The grenade is done with, you do the ball of the grenade and then you put some spikes on the end. And there's the regimental number as well, number 1. First Carabiniers. And I may or may not have gone a little over the top with the blood. Blood for the Blood God from the only Citadel paint I still own. The cuirassier swords were thrusting weapons, not hack and slash, would you believe it? The stance when you were charging was very much the one that's depicted here. And so you'd like thrust your arm out. This shows it a bit better. Thrust your arm out like that. And then you'd sort of stab forward, I think, so I didn't realise that it was a stabbing weapon. I'd imagine they'd be heavy enough to... You'd probably do your hacking and slashing if you wanted for good measure, but I think you'd go in at the point. And this squadron I'm really happy with, because they're all full of animation. You're going in for the charge just before first contact, and this entire squadron have been blooded. They've had their sort of unfortunate victims already in the first battalion that they've passed through. Just some very simple basing and red tufts, because I thought that would offset the white and red of the uniforms. And then it's a Vallejo light deep sky blue, which I think you use for American Civil War Union trousers. That's blended in with the blue to get the saddlecloth colour and the facing colour of the Carabiniers. Really happy with these. These are going on the tables straight away tonight. So yeah, looking forward to them, seeing how they work in black powder. The officer has done slightly differently on his saddlecloth. He's got covers on his pouches there in the front. I think that's where they held the pistols, I'm not 100%. And I tried to do the flag a little bit better by painting black around the edges and then going in with Vallejo brass to do the trim, so there's no you can't see the white of the paper or anything. And then this was a little bit tricky. This little piece of, it's in like the revolutionary French colours. Quite nice. I won't show the trumpeter up in too much detail because I did a bit of a shocking job on him. The yellow I found really difficult to get on that. Like, I don't think yellow covers very well. I haven't found Vallejo yellows to cover very well, so I tend to paint them like Iraqi sand or something, blended with yellow, you know, to get like an off yellow. So that is the 1st Regiment of Carabiniers. Let's see how they perform tonight now in a game. I'm gonna just tell James I'm gonna have a game with my old man and see. Well, we've had a few games and it's gone okay, but this is my first game where we'll have cavalry on cavalry action, because at the moment I only had dragoons, which is a bit pitiful. But onwards and upwards now. I need to do hussars, all sorts of things, yeah. Plenty of projects for the summer. Right, I'll leave it there for now, folks. All the best. Ta-da.